right, so now we're at a stage where my entire letter has a base coat on it. So then this is where you look back on your brainstorming ideas, and hopefully you kind of colored them a little bit, but I just kind of did some loose, rough sketches just to get some just general ideas out. And this is what you refer back to these ideas for, because then you can look at what colors you're going to need, as well as where to draw. Now I know it's going to be tough to see because I have such a dark background, but you can see that I have these pencil lines drawn in as a guide for where I want like my mountains, where I want my water to end, but then also how it wraps around. Even like my little moon, I want that glow to wrap around. So you do want to make sure that you're drawing this out so that you don't, you're less likely to screw up. So, and this is part of that whole planning stage. So from here, if you look back on your plans and you think about what it is that you're drawing, because like I didn't like the side that this moon was on, so that's why I moved it over here for my actual project. But I like the water being on the bottom, and then I decided that I'm going to throw in mountains. I'm getting rid of the all the colors because I didn't like how they looked. There wasn't a good way. I have different ideas on what I could do in the future, but I'm not going to incorporate those. So I decided to incorporate more mountainy stuff. Now, to keep it all unified, I'm not going to go off of real colors. So just things to think about. Now I'm going to start up with my moon and kind of work my way forward. You always kind of start with what's in the background. And then that's why we do that base coat, and then you work your way forward because it's a lot easier to add those details later on. So that's what I'll do: moon, mountains, and then water. And then I'll probably, once it's dry a little bit, I could even go in and add some little touch-ups here and there as needed. So, but otherwise, good luck, and let's paint. To get ready for paint, you are going to want to have a water cup for washing out your brush, as well as a paper towel just to kind of squeegee off that excess after washing. And then think about the colors that you're going to need. So primary colors is all that you need. So blue, yellow, and red, because I'm going to be able to make purple and green and orange. So I can make any color that I need with these. Now my background is still a pretty dark color, so all I'm going to be needing is white. If I want to, I can always get black and add in those details afterwards. But if I don't need a color, you don't need to get it. All right. So keep that in mind when you are picking out your colors. Also, this is the size brush that I am using. I like it because I can get some details with this point here. So I like these rounded brushes. The bristles are also stiff enough that they're pretty easy to work with and control. So that's why I picked that, but you're gonna find out what works out best for you. this is where my project is at after it has dried. So you can kind of see how everything flows together, how it kind of wraps together. And now that I'm looking at it, and this is where sometimes, well, most of the time this happens with art, or it should happen, where you get a base and maybe you like what you have here, but you start to see maybe different ways that you can improve it. So when I look at this, I feel like that the sun and the mountains and the water are just too separate and they don't flow together overly well. So I'd like to kind of incorporate more of these designs, those little lines that create that movement. I'd like to continue that. I'd like to clean up and maybe do some more with the water here. And then even, because I really like the mountain or the moon and the texture that creates. And so I was thinking of adding even just some stars, which would kind of help tie things together, and maybe add some lines into the mountains and smaller lines into the water, just to kind of tie that same movement, that same texture, that same pattern in throughout the entire thing. So check out my next video to see how it ends up turning out, but otherwise, best of luck on your details.